This is Still Here Hollywood's 10-Minute Takes, bite-sized chapters of our favorite chats with the stars. Hi, I'm Steve Kmetko, and here's the second of 7 chapters with actor Steven Weber from Wings and Chicago Med.
Hey, listen, I like a little pulp in my water. In my milk.
Chunky milk.
Chunky milk.
Very good. How did you originally find your way into this? Into acting?
To acting?
And you're a writer?
I mean, I write, but I wouldn't say that I'm a writer. Writing is a completely different discipline. I found my way in as a kid, as a young, hammy kid trying to impress adults, probably because of my parents' life in show business. I was trying to get their affection, and so I knew a lot of their references, and so I read a lot of film books and TV books, and I was able to comport myself to their contemporaries by talking about early TV that I could not have watched, but they were, and doing the requisite kind of corny impressions. So I was performing at an early age for affirmation, and then began to do school plays at a young age, and then my parents were able to get me auditions for commercials, and so I did a few commercials which actually ran in the 60s, in the era of the 60-second commercial. And I worked with some cool actors. Frances Sternhagen was in one of my...
Oh,
yeah.
Saw her in Driving Miss Daisy.
Oh, she's wonderful.
So wonderful.
She's so wonderful. Well, she was kind of the first real actor who years later was still working, and it was for Gleam toothpaste. But so I started doing that, and then I found my way in high school. I went to the High School of Performing Arts, FAME, I Want to Live Forever, and did that and got my first kind of serious exposure to the craft and potentially the art and the creativity of acting. And then I went to State University of New York at Purchase, which is a great theater school, kind of like the liberal Juilliard, and a lot of great actors have come from there, like Edie Falco and Stan Tucci and Wesley Snipes and Ving Rhames and great directors. And so I just found myself doing this.
A liberal Juilliard?
That's what I like to say. Yeah, well, a liberal Juilliard in the sense that it was less of a conservatory, less up its own, can I say ass?
Yeah.
Less up its own ass. And its nose wasn't in the air. Listen, it cost a lot less, and it was the only school I got into. But it turned out to be the best place that I could have gone to. Isn't my story fascinating?
Yes.
It kind of is, isn't it?
Well.
And I'm telling it in these velvet tones. See, another thing that I found at my age is that I can get down here. And when I look at
nice?
It's really nice.
First thing in the morning.
That's right. Hi there. I have nobody to say this to, but I say it to my dog. Hi there, I say.
What kind of a dog?
Her name is Cat the dog, and she is Jack Russell mixed with a dachshund.
Oh my God!
Well, she's not the dachshund cuts the psychosis, so she's muscly and fast, but she's fairly calm, like me.
I have a dachshund, a miniature dachshund rescue.
Cute.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
He came with the name Shiitake.
Okay.
But I said, no, I can't have a
You
shiitake.
can't have a shiitake.
And I have a rat terrier.
And okay.
Named Sophie. She's a rescue too.
And do they get along?
They get along great.
I'm being encouraged to get another dog to keep her company, but it's hard.
How old is?
She's about 6. Cat the dog?
Cat the dog?
Cat the dog is about 6.
I had a cat named Kitty Carlisle.
Now, wait a minute. That's not... so you and I can appreciate
hey.
that. Kitty Carlisle.
I'm gay.
Yeah. Jesus. Stop
friends
using
thought
that
it was
as an
funny.
excuse. It's commendable now.
Now, finally.
Lucky bastard.
Hey. I lost a job once because of it.
Yeah. Now, where's that person?
I don't know, and I don't care.
Yeah, and they're straight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see, where was I?
I don't know. Cat the dog, Kitty
dog.
Carlisle, and you're gay. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
That doesn't get them to stay tuned. What do you have a particular role or project that you worked on that is a favorite that you think of most fondly?
For pure kind of satisfaction about, I guess, executing what it is that I do, what I have been trying to do, would be on the show Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, which was an Aaron Sorkin show, which ran for one season, could have used at least one more. But it was a great show with Matthew Perry and Brad Whitford and Amanda Peet and a bunch of amazing actors. And I had a great supporting role on it that was perfectly written, and for some reason I was able to do it in a way that gives me great satisfaction. That's something that I can watch and not whinge while I'm watching. That was a good one. I've done some theater, which has given me great satisfaction. I'm not saying I was particularly good in it, but it was so satisfying to do. I did The Producers on Broadway for about 10 months, and that was sensational. Every possible, sensational is the word, every possible sensation that you associate with being in a Broadway musical and something like that, which was at the time still so popular and taking New York by storm, that was incredibly satisfying and amazing.
I loved that show.
It was a great show.
Mel Brooks did a great job on it.
He certainly did, and it wasn't just him. It was everybody involved, and it was an eye-opening experience on a lot of levels. To see the machinations backstage, literally, the technical team, the crew, the swings. I learned so much. The ensemble. I learned so much about what goes into the making of a show on that scale. It was truly incredible. It was great.
I remember sitting in the audience, and it was you were enveloped, by the laughter and the applause, and there was a thunderstorm going on outside, and a loud clap of thunder that Nathan Lane proceeded to play off of.
Of course,
and it was hysterical.
Yeah.
And I was sitting behind Teri Garr.
Wow.
And in front of Jessica Lange and her children.
Are you kidding?
No. No. And at intermission, I remember, I'll share this.
We can cut it out if it's disgusting.
I went to use the bathroom downstairs.
Yeah, let's cut this out.
And there was, it was full of people running back and forth, up and down the stairs. And Teri Garr has MS.
That's right.
I think it's quite well known, and she was trying to get down the stairs, and people were not allowing her. And I saw what was going on, and I went back to her, and I said, "Do you need help?"
Yeah.
She said, "Could you just get me to the other side of the staircase?" I said, "Sure, come on."
That's great.
I gave her a lot of credit for that because, God, I think if I were in that situation, I would have a difficult time.
You mean how the public is seeing you and all that stuff?
Yes. Well, and also the manner in which she was being treated by her fellow theater goers. Like, come on.
Really?
Yeah.
They were, oh, that's terrible.
Nobody took notice. So anyway.
One of the fun things about this career in this particular industry is that you get to occasionally come into contact with people like Teri Garr or, or Mel Brooks. And they might not be lasting, deep relationships, but they're just little benign collisions, and I forget, because it has happened with some frequency, that it's actually pretty special. That for the most part, of course, the vast majority of the world who are familiar with stars and celebrities will never have the opportunity to see them in real life or anything like that, but we have been able to kind of talk to them or observe them and see them warts and all. I mean, and it can be wonderful. I mean, I've had some. Can I tell this one where when I first got to L.A., probably in '88, I was stuck in traffic outside the Chateau Marmont and my car inching, and I think the Marlboro Man sign was still there. Marlboro Man. Glad I quit smoking. And there was somebody in the car up on my left side, and I can see the passenger in silhouette, a woman, because based on her hair, I guess, haranguing the driver. I couldn't hear it, obviously. And I'm inching up. and I get to where I can see who it is, and it.
To watch the next chapter, click the box. To listen, just stay tuned.